Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I wanted to quickly go over your week 2 assignment, just giving you an overview and hopefully providing a bit more guidance. For those of you who are not in the classroom, these assignments may appear to be a bit challenging, but know that they are building off of one another. So what we did in week 1, we will use to help develop our formative assessment in week 2, and then our summative assessment in week 3, and then using that information to do our analysis in week 4. And so all of those assignments will be part of your final assignment. And so the goal is that you'll review the feedback I provide you and make any necessary revisions before you submit your final assignment. So for week 2, what you need to do is create 3 formative assessments to assess the learning objectives that you developed in week 1. And in the prepare section, there's 3 different links on different kinds of formative assessments. I believe this one in particular has a whole, let me just make sure, this one has 56 different ways that you can gather evidence. So this provides different suggestions. This is a three-time summarization, a postcard, and granted, they're giving you an example of a historical figure, but if your, let's say, lesson is on the plant parts, you might have them create a postcard on the plant parts. So make sure that whatever formative assessment you do use is relevant to your learning standards. So you can kind of look through those here. You can also use one of your formative assessments has to include some type of technology. If you were able to engage in that Padlet that I had created in the discussions, you can certainly use something like that and explain how you would do that. Other ways to integrate technology may be using the Kahoot. You could use the clickers, something like that, to assess their learning. So remember, formative assessment is assessment for learning, and we are just getting a measurement of how students are progressing towards mastering those learning objectives. So I'm going to pull up the template, which is right here, and be sure to review this information, but everything's kind of set up for you. You have your headings already formatted. Just be sure to include that information, and of course you'll want to get rid of these green boxes. Put your introduction right here. Here's a great link from the Writing Center on creating a solid introduction. Here you're just simply going to copy and paste the standard and learning objectives that you developed from week 1. But be sure that you look over my feedback that I provided to you. If you go back into Waypoint, I either provided you comments if anything needed to be revised, or provided you a video to further explain what needed to be done. So you're going to copy and paste that here. And then the next part is going to be explaining your 3 different ways that you're formatively assessing to determine if students are working towards those learning objectives. So you're going to explain the first way, how you're going to assess learners based on your instructional plan, which is your learning objectives. Describe the assessment and explain how this method helps you in measuring the progress of your learners mastering the learning objectives. So if you used an exit ticket, tell me what you would put on that exit ticket and how it would align with your learning objectives, and making sure that you're measuring whether students are working towards that learning objective, and how it's aligned to your standard. And then, of course, just make sure that one of those formative assessments that you describe includes some sort of technology. So you're going to do that 3 different times, so 3 different ways that you're formatively assessing those learning objectives. Tell me how they're aligned to the standards and the learning objective, because that's the whole point of this process in following the backward design model. And then you're just going to briefly summarize your ideas that you discussed in your paper. So I hope that provides a bit more guidance. And then also don't forget about your reference references. These are again, this list right here is fantastic. It provides that guidance on how to format. I know APA can be a pain, but the more that you use the resources and look at the feedback and do it correctly, it will become second nature. I can promise you that. And so just be sure when you are writing, the expectation is that you're going to make reference to the course text to support your ideas. So I should see LaFrancos cited in your paper. Don't rely heavily on those direct quotes. Instead, work to paraphrase. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Hope you all are having a good day.